And now for our next news special report.
And now we dive into a story that cuts to the core of our republic's security and integrity. We're talking about a man, Alejandro Mayorkas, who swore to protect our borders, but now stands on the brink of impeachment. It's a tale of betrayal, a duty forsaken, and a crisis that threatens to unravel the very fabric of our nation. As the House committee makes a historic decision, the question looms: how do we get here? And what are the stakes? And most importantly, what does this mean for you, the American people? It's not just about politics, it's about our nation's future and the safety of every citizen. So stay with us for this special report and don't miss my final thought, where I reveal why this story is crucial for every patriot who believes in the strength and sovereignty of our great republic. Now, before we delve deeper, let's take a moment. Just like how the House committee meticulously scrutinizes the actions of Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, it's essential we safeguard our own assets, especially in these turbulent times. Just as Mayorkas' decisions have led to a surge at our borders, the financial markets are experiencing their own turmoil. Gold has soared past 2,000 an ounce, echoing the instability of our times. Remember, when our national debt skyrockets, so does the value of gold. So it's crucial to secure your wealth. Contact the Patriot Gold Group at 888-857-9437 and mention Next News for best-in-class service. They offer a no-fee-for-life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 888-857-9437 now for your free investor guide. And now we're witnessing a pivotal moment in our nation's history, one that encapsulates the struggle for maintaining the integrity of our borders and upholding the rule of law. The issue at hand is the impending impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, a man charged with the security of our nation's borders. He now faces grave allegations of failing to enforce federal immigration laws and making false statements to Congress. It's a situation that hits the heart of our republic's values and principles. Take a look.
Back here in Washington, House Republicans are moving toward the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas in a dispute over the migrant crisis at the southern border. CBS's Nicole Killian reports today's impeachment hearing comes as the Senate nears a bipartisan deal to tighten border security.
We cannot allow this man to remain in office any longer. The time for accountability is now.
The head of the House Homeland Security Committee said Republicans had no other choice but to bring forth articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, claiming a dereliction of duty at the U.S.-Mexico border.
You don't want solutions, you just want politics.
Democrats accuse the GOP-led panel of having no evidence of high crimes and misdemeanors.
The sham impeachment of Secretary Mayorkas is a baseless political stunt.
The articles include willful and systemic refusal to comply with the law and breach of public trust. They allege the secretary obstructed congressional oversight and failed to rein in record migrant crossings, which topped 10,000 per day last month. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez represents Eagle Pass at the epicenter.
Why you do think the secretary's impeachment is warranted?
It is very clear that whatever DHS is doing, they need to do something different.
Mayorkas defended the Biden administration's policies, noting it has removed, returned, or expelled more migrants in 3 years than the Trump administration.
That's not all I can do. Just give me the power.
Today, President Biden said there is nothing more he can do through executive action and implored Congress to pass a border security deal. But House Speaker Mike Johnson reiterated any potential compromise in the Senate may be dead on arrival.
And the president can take executive authority immediately, and he's pretending as though he does not know that. It's outrageous.
The White House is criticizing House Republicans for threatening to block a potential package while at the same time calling for border fixes. Some Democrats call it hypocritical since Mayorkas helped craft that deal and now appears on the verge, potentially, of impeachment in the House. Major.
Nicole Killian, thank you.
This impeachment comes against the backdrop of unprecedented numbers of migrants crossing our borders. The influx has not only strained our resources, but has also raised serious concerns about the security and well-being of our citizens. Here's more.
Now to some breaking news at the U.S.-Mexico border. Migrant encounters reached an all-time high in the month of December at more than 302,000. That's roughly the population of the city of Pittsburgh. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez is at the border crossing in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Nancy, this has never happened before in U.S. history. December was the fourth consecutive month in which U.S. agents here along the Mexican border processed close to or over 250,000 migrants. And that tally in December included more than 120,000 parents and children traveling as families. The situation here, however, has changed dramatically in January, with daily illegal crossings dropping by 50%. Nancy, U.S. officials attribute that drop to increased Mexican enforcement on the other side of the Rio Grande, as well as the holiday season.
Camilo Montoya Galvez in.
So in a landmark move, the GOP-led House committee has voted to advance 2 articles of impeachment against Mayorkas. This isn't a decision taken lightly. It's a reflection of a deep-seated concern about his handling of the border crisis. The committee's decision was made after a grueling 15-hour meeting marked by intense debate and partisan divide. But in the end, the Republican majority prevailed, with the articles moving to the House floor for a vote. The charges against Mayorkas are severe. First, he's accused of willfully refusing to comply with federal immigration laws. It's not just about policy disagreements, it's about the fundamental breach of duty. The second charge is even more damning, making false statements to Congress and obstructing lawful oversight. In essence, Mayorkas is accused of misleading those elected to represent the people and hindering the transparency crucial to our republic. So as expected, the response to these developments has been divided along party lines. Republicans, driven by a commitment to uphold the law and protect national integrity, have been unflinching in their pursuit of accountability. On the other hand, Democrats have dismissed the impeachment as a political stunt. The stark divide is more than just political posturing. It reflects a deeper ideological battle over the direction of our nation. The gravity of the situation can't be understated. If the House votes to impeach Mayorkas, it will mark the first time a cabinet secretary has faced such a consequence since 1876. Now, this isn't just a procedural step. It's a historic move that underscores the severity of the situation. And even if the House votes to impeach, the Senate, currently under Democrat control, poses a significant hurdle. The odds of a conviction there are slim, yet this doesn't diminish the importance of the House's actions. It's a clear signal of the growing dissatisfaction with the current state of affairs and a call for a return to principled leadership. Now, the path to these articles of impeachment has been long and arduous. The Homeland Security Panel announced its investigation into Mayorkas' handling of the border crisis last year. It wasn't a hasty decision. The committee conducted a thorough probe, culminating in several reports and hearings. And now, the evidence that they've gathered paints a troubling picture of neglect and malfeasance. And interestingly, there's a bipartisan undercurrent to this issue. Recently, 14 House Democrats actually broke ranks to join Republicans in denouncing the Biden administration's border policies. So this isn't just a Republican crusade. There is a growing recognition across party lines that something is fundamentally wrong. The White House, predictably, has come to Mayorkas' defense, labeling the impeachment effort as unconstitutional. Mayorkas himself has remained defiant, dismissing the accusations as baseless. However, this defense seems more like a diversion than a substantive rebuttal to the charges. Now, amidst the impeachment proceedings, the Senate has been working on a border deal with Mayorkas' involvement. However, this effort appears to be in jeopardy, with House Republicans, including Speaker Mike Johnson, declaring it dead on arrival. Now, this highlights the stark contrast in approaches to border security and immigration policy. And adding to the political drama, House Republicans are conducting a separate corruption inquiry into President Joe Biden. With the potential of a Biden-Trump rematch in the upcoming election, the political landscape is charged with tension and high stakes. The impeachment of Mayorkas isn't just a standalone issue. It's part of a broader narrative of political and ideological conflict that's shaping our nation. Throughout the debate, Democrats attempted to amend the articles, but these efforts were ultimately unsuccessful. The Republican majority held firm, rejecting amendments that they deemed political and unrelated to the impeachable offenses. Now, this firm stance is indicative of the seriousness with the GOP is approaching of this matter. Democrats have consistently argued that Mayorkas lacks the resources to effectively manage the border crisis. They point to issues like insufficient space to hold detained migrants as evidence of systemic challenges beyond Mayorkas' control. However, Republicans have countered the narrative, highlighting budget decisions and policy choices they believe have exacerbated the situation. Republican members like Marjorie Taylor Greene and August Pfluger have been vocal in challenging the resource argument. They pointed to Mayorkas' budget requests and decisions to close detention centers as evidence of his mismanagement. So it's not just about resources, it's about priorities and choices that have dire consequences for national security. The impeachment of Mayorkas is grounded in the Constitution's provisions for holding government officials accountable. This isn't an arbitrary exercise of power, it's an essential mechanism to ensure that those in high office adhere to the law and uphold their duties. Now, the charge against Mayorkas speaks to a fundamental disregard for the rule of law, something that can't be overlooked in a republic. If you found value in this report, I encourage you to tap subscribe. Up next, a perspective you don't want to miss. So as we close tonight's report, it's clear the case against Alejandro Mayorkas isn't just about a failing policy or a bureaucratic misstep. It's about a catastrophic failure at the highest levels of government, a failure that threatens the very security and integrity of our great republic. Mayorkas' actions or lack thereof have demonstrated a profound disregard for the laws and principles that define us as a nation. His impeachment is not just warranted, it's necessary. The situation underscores the urgent need for leadership that respects and upholds the rule of law. It's a stark reminder of the importance of having a leader like Donald Trump who prioritizes national security and the well-being of American citizens. We need a leader who understands the gravity of these issues and is committed to taking decisive action to safeguard our borders and our nation. America deserves better, and it's time that we demand it.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.